guys, it's Manager Kylie, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to score a basketball game. So in this video I'm going to show you how to do the score sheet for a basketball game. It's very simple. If you saw my video on how to do the volleyball score sheet, that is definitely more complex than the basketball one is. There's only a few main things that you have to keep track of on a basketball score sheet, so it definitely makes it easier to do than a volleyball one. But if you guys are interested in seeing more sports administration, coaching tips, and drills to use with your team, definitely hit the subscribe button, turn the bell so you get notified every time I upload. Post every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So now we're going to get started going over the different parts of the basketball score sheet. So here is what the score sheet looks like. For this one, I'm not going to be showing film. I'm just going to be going through the different parts of the score sheet. This one's much easier than like a volleyball one. You don't really need to see film to understand where everything goes. I will say this is just a printed copy of a score sheet. It's not exactly what every single book looks like. Every single book is slightly different in how it's organized and which things have numbers versus are just like little boxes. So this is definitely one version of it. There's other versions that you will see. Another thing to remember is when you're doing the book, you're actually doing two of these. So I'm going to be showing you one team's version of it, but in reality you're going to have two sheets. You're going to have this and then you'll have the other side of the book. So you're really going to be keeping track of both teams, both the home team and the away team. So to start off, you'd want to put the team name. So we're just going to put team green here, and then on the other one you'd put the other team, the home gym. So we're going to just say the high school we'll put there, and then ignore this. This book happens to be probably more for youth basketball, so it says Saturday or Sunday. Games can be played any day of the week, so I'm just going to ignore that. And schedule game time, we're going to say is 4 o'clock. Simple things. You'll see this on every book has a slightly different version of this. You'll also see on books some of them do it near the top, some do it near the bottom. You have the officials, so just put like Joey and Fred. You'd get the officials' names, and then your name because you're the scorekeeper, and then the timekeeper. You can just put whoever the timekeeper is. You'll see these on different books. Some things, like I said, are near the top, some are near the bottom, but you do have everything on here that's in other books. Other things you want to know, the next thing you're going to get is the roster. So you'll get each team's roster from the coach. They'll submit them to the table. For high school basketball, they have to have them submitted and in the books. So this is when you fill out their roster. So you can either put first names, last names. Most people will put like last names in a first initial. So you just put like, I'm just going to put ABC, like you'd put whatever the people's names are and then their jersey numbers. So these, generally I like to leave these in numerical order. So 1, 2, 5, 11, 15, so forth and so on. You'd put in your roster. There's limits on how many people they can have. This one has 16 spots, some have more. Generally, it's better to have one that has closer to like 20, 22, as the limits get a little bit higher as you get towards tournament time, at least for Massachusetts. So now that you have all the information in, the game would start. So once the game starts, all you're going to do is, so if player B on the green team scores a point, so they score a regular basket, a layup of some kind, you would put a 2 right here, so they scored 2 points, and then you would cross off the 2 on the running score. Play keeps happening, and player C, or this is E, player E scores a 3, you would put a 3 right here. This is all in the first quarter. You would cross off number 5. This is keeping track of your total score, so you know where you are in the quarter. Okay, and then a foul happens, so player A commits the foul. Actually, I'm going to go back one step. These 5 players are on the court, so you want to make sure that you cross off that they are playing on quarter 1. I'll add a 6th player so that we have one other player that can sub in. So you have your 5 players that have started the game. So if player A commits a foul and it's in the first half, I like to put a single slash, so that you know they have 1 foul, and then their team fouls for the first half, you're going to put a slash right there. Somebody on the other team then shoots some free throws, the game continues, and now player C is fouled, so they're going to be going up for some free throws. So if they're going up for 2 free throws, you put 2 circles, and then say they make the first one and miss the second one, you'd fill in this first circle, and then you'd cross off the 6, because that's the points they're now at. Game continues, you keep playing. So doing this on both, if there's a foul that happens that's a shooting foul, you'd have to cross off this on one team's, and then you'd put you cross off the foul on one team's, and then you'd put the free throws on the opposite teams. The game continues, and we'll say the first quarter has come to an end. So when the first quarter comes to an end, we're at 6 points. So up here, you're going to put 6. There's other total spots, and then I like to put a nice line, whether it's a darker line or a zigzag line, down the middle so that you know that quarter's over and you're starting to use the next quarter. So if the next quarter happens, another thing, when the quarters start and end, you'd have position arrows. Some books will say home and away, so if I just put the home team gets it, then the away team gets it. You can cross it off that way. They'll also usually be keeping track, the refs will keep track of this, and a lot of times the table will too if they have the arrows on the table. So if we continue the game and say player D scores a 3 and then a 2, they'd have 5 more points, so we'd have a 3 and then a 2. Okay, and then a timeout's called, and so for timeouts down here, you would put who it's called by. So if it's a full, you would put C for the coach if it's called, and time on the clock, we can say it's 4 minutes and 50 seconds, just random times, and it's quarter 2 that they called this, just to keep track of when timeouts are called. Another thing I would say, say the second quarter ends and you're now in the second half, you want to make sure that, I like to a lot of times put like a line right here to show where the quarters end, so you can see there's a line there, we put a line here, so it's 11 points now. They scored 5 total points in that quarter, so you can see that. Now, when the third quarter happens, up here, I like to start doing double crosses so you can tell that it's the second half. Same with fouls, so if number 5 was to get a foul now, I like to cross them off with X's. For the quarters, it doesn't matter as much. You can cross off the third either like that or like this. You know it's obviously the third quarter, but I like to keep track on the fouls. It also helps you keep track of this because now you have one foul here and you can tell, okay, I have one double X or one full X versus a slash. You know that's happened in the second half. So if you have any other questions about this just continues on for the game. As plays happen, you keep track of their points, keep track of the running score. The really important things to keep track of is who's on the court, so who plays, the number of fouls each player has, because coaches will definitely check that consistently to make sure that no player is in foul trouble. You want to keep track of whose points are when and when they're scored, so you have your running totals for each quarter. I like to you can either keep this as a running total, so like 6-11, or you can keep this as the 6-5 to keep track of how each person does it slightly different, to know that you scored 6 points in that quarter or the score was up to 11 points. You can do it either way. Many people keep it this way, like with the 6 and the 5. Many people keep it this way. It's kind of up to you. Position arrows, you want to keep track of that to know who has the next possession, especially at the end of a quarter. The refs might check to see whose possession it is. And then it's definitely important to keep track of fouls. You want to make sure that you have when you hit 7 that you notify the refs, because that's 1 and 1, and 10 for double bonus. And then timeouts, because there are limited on your 5 timeouts. It is helpful if you're just getting started to either have somebody that knows how to do it to sit with you, or if you're the away team, to sit with the home team, because the home team's book is going to be the official book. It may be helpful as the away team to sit with the home book so they can show you and you can kind of look over the shoulders to make sure that you're understanding everything. Once the game's over too, you do want to tally up the person's total points. So this player got 5, this player got 3, this player got 1, 2, 0. Just tally them up, then the players know their total points. So I hope you guys found this video informative and helpful. If there's any other sports that you want to see this done for, so if there's any other sports like softball, baseball, anything that you want to see scored, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I would love to show you how to score some of the other sports that you may be interested in. If you guys want to see more content like this, definitely check out my volleyball score sheet and how to score the different parts of a volleyball game. It's actually a 3-video series on the different score sheets that you use for a volleyball game. Like I said before, it's a little bit more complex than the basketball one, but it's definitely helpful and informative to know if you ever need to score a volleyball game. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next week.